You sent it, so I would hope you'd have read it.
Yeah, I didn't read it, so I'm just kind of going by the seat of my pants.
Yes, that's the way it usually works out.
If I was wearing pants.
Episode number 3, the long-awaited episode number 3. A year in the making.
All
And it
about
will only be 40 minutes long.
Probably.
us talking
Yeah,
about
right.
what pants we aren't wearing.
Yeah. Damn. I don't know.
All right,
I gotta
get it out. Get it out.
I got-
Bonehead. Get it out.
gotta take its mask off. I can't
Yeah,
deal with the
can't
mask.
smoke with the mask on.
The new thing isn't going to be, I ain't wearing any panties. It's going to be, I ain't wearing a mask.
Oh, Frank 19, how about it? I ain't got no mask on.
I ain't wearing a mask, candy cane.
There we go. Hang on.
Here we go. Jesus Christ, your face is in the thing.
Whose?
I ain't got no mask on.
Look how close his face is to the damn video.
I can't even see Bonehead.
What are you, fucking blind? Jesus Christ.
All I can see is a picture of him. His video's turned off on mine.
No,
I see his video right here.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway,
many
get it
bars
started,
you got?
Bonehead, will you?
Oh yeah, we
Fucking
recorded
hell.
it. Then we started the
Yeah,
show.
we're recording right now.
So, anyways, I'm Uncle Bonehead, as you probably know, because they keep referencing me as Uncle Bonehead. That
Uncle
plus
Grandpa.
I'm the oldest, best looking thing on 18 wheels. Almost said the oldest thing on 18 wheels. Thank you. Okay,
Oh, gee.
we got Monster and we've got Rob. Say hello, Monster, and what's your 20?
In my truck with no clothes on.
Wow. Well,
Yeah, this is the magic of editing. It looks like he has
are
clothes,
you-
but it doesn't really.
are you spritzing?
Yes, I'm spritzing. Do you mind if I can spritz in pee? Look, I put a shirt on for you. I put a hat on for you. I'm not putting fucking pants on, and I'm gonna spritz when I want to fucking spritz. Okay?
Fucking hell. Motherfucker snorted.
I heard that. I don't know why I can't see his fucking video.
I don't know.
Don't know.
I
It's
can see
on.
it fine.
Turn it off and turn it back on, Bonehead.
This ain't a fucking Windows computer, man.
Click
I think
your
it's your
video
connection.
off. Click your video back on. Oh, I forgot you're old. I need to walk you through. Okay, now if you click on your picture, you
I
have
just
like
did.
a little emblem
I
on the
just
bottom.
did. I just did.
Speaking of age.
Now. Wow.
So,
Oh yeah. Speaking of age, Rob,
what?
say hello and what's your 20?
Hello. I'm Ratchet Jaw Rob. I am on the 40 in Arizona currently, trying to pass this fucking oversize. But And day in the life. Yet another.
Yep.
Back of this guy's truck says paid vacation 2.0. Yeah, you're driving like it, fucko. Anyway, we got a lot of shit for the show today, right? Bonehead?
Yeah, we do. We're gonna hopefully start doing these a little more often than yearly.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's an annual show up until this point.
Yeah, that's right. It's not just a podcast; it's an event.
It really is. Stick
But
with
anyway,
us and we'll find out.
we've got. Let me get back over here to. Oh, wrong app here. Yes, we're doing this all on the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember how to utilize my fucking phone here. Here we go.
Take
Which
your
one did I
ginkgo
wanna
biloba,
start?
Bonehead. Come on.
Just start talking. I'm trying to. Okay, let's just start with what's on everybody's mind as truck drivers. Violent protests, riots. They're breaking out all across the country, damn near every large major city. And what should you do when it comes to this situation? Should you try to drive through it if they shut down a interstate, or even on a? I mean, we saw with Rodney King, and I can't remember what the driver's name was that was beat to death.
Reginald Denning. His name is Reginald
that's it.
Denning. Yeah. Yeah.
And me personally, I see a bunch of protesters or rioters, whatever you want to call them. I'm turning around and going the other way. And if there's not enough room for me to turn around, the truck's going into reverse, and whoever's behind me is getting ran over. Because I'm not getting anywhere near the fucking rioters. My life is not worth any fucking load.
See, what I'll do is they want to be heard. They need loud noises, right? So I figure, what's louder than my air horn? I'll just follow behind them slowly. Beep, 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 beep. You know, I'll make noise with them. Just let me be safe, and I'll protest with you. There you go.
There,
Monster, you breathe and you make a lot of noise.
I know, right? No, that's Wolfie. Don't get me confused.
Speaking of which, Wolfie was supposed to be on this, but like always, he probably had technical difficulties. Fuck a bucket.
Yeah, pretty much.
technical difficulties. More like he couldn't remember how to log into Skype, probably. But.
No, more like he had to call the fuck it bucket and make a deposit.
I've had a case of the buckets here recently, but
He found the brown gold.
oh, I think AJ just texted.
Did he? Get him in.
I think so. Let's see what
if
he
you
says.
get him in.
The yummy is
Yummy
stinky.
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
What did he say?
The yummy is
yummy-
stinky.
Oh,
Our
he's talking
previous-
about that picture you put up.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh,
I'm sorry. If you don't know how to properly wipe your ass, why in the
Don't-
fuck would you wear all white clothes?
right.
We
Bonehead,
have it. Oh, by the
explain
way,
that to us. That was your picture, so
well, okay, because you didn't see the text before, did you, monster?
yes, I did. That's why I posted it. I'm the one that put the picture there.
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm gonna call him.
Were you? All right. We call you. We call you.
That's what I just texted him.
That's. Oh, wouldn't it be?
AJ,
We're
yeah.
gonna call you. Not we call you.
I don't give a shit. I'm a truck
We
driver.
know you don't. Iron Skillet.
Iron's killing.
there it is again. Twice,
You know, Bonehead missed this.
Oh yeah. No, I'm calling him, but he's not answering.
That's our friends.
Yeah.
Right there.
I think he hung up on me. They quit ringing. So.
Probably saw all
Oh
this
no. He says unavailable. Yep.
on the who? Maverick?
Odge.
Odge? Monster.
What?
Monster. Oh, I thought he froze for a minute there.
Yeah, so did I. You're sitting there staring at something.
Yeah,
It looked like you froze.
Bird on this building.
All I can see is Monster's chin.
Why? Is the phone too low?
Oh, you're
Yeah.
fine. I can
There
see
you
you.
go.
Now I can't see the bottom half of your face.
Well, fucking way. You got your tablet turned sideways, don't you?
No, I have it straight up
Me?
and down.
Woo, got a little wind out here. Anyway, let's get into it.
Oh yeah.
Can you
the
see
show.
me okay, or should I turn it sideways, like this?
How about throw it out the fucking window? How about that?
Is that
It don't
better?
matter. Anyway, back to the fucking subject at hand here.
Jesus.
This is from CDLLife.com. As violent protests erupt around throughout the country, drivers are once again finding themselves on the front line and have once again been deemed essential. Throughout the country, protesters have shut down interstates and streets. Over the weekend, two tractor trailers were surrounded by protesters and looted. In one of those incidents, one of the protesters was killed when he caught between the truck's trailers. Yeah, this was that FedEx one
Yeah.
that I was talking about. In response to these events, many drivers have taken to social media to share images of Reginald Denny, a truck driver who was pulled from his truck during the 1992 LA riots and brutally beaten. On April 29th, 1992, Denny was heading from Santa Monica Freeway, heading to a plant in Inglewood, loaded down with 27 tons of sand. Denny took a short cut across Florence Avenue straight into the path of danger. Denny was unaware of the chaos that was unfolding just ahead. Denny's truck was not equipped with a CB radio, so he had no way of knowing what he was driving into. At 6:46 p.m., Denny pulled up to the intersection of Florence and Normandy, and rioters, angered over the Rodney King verdict, threw rocks at the cab's windows. News helicopter captured the entire scene as it unfolded and went live across the country. Millions of viewers watched as the rioters pulled Denny from his truck. Antoine Miller opened the truck's door while others pulled Denny from the cab and down onto the street. Denny was punched, kicked, and beat about the head. Henry Wilson held Denny's head down with his foot as another in the group kicked Denny in the abdomen. Denny was also bludgeoned with a claw hammer. Toward the end of his beating, Damian Williams threw a concrete slab at Denny's head, knocking him unconscious. As Denny was lying on the ground, other rioters walked by, throwing bottles, spitting at him, and kicking him as a result of the beatings. Denny sustained 91 skull fractures and a badly dislocated eye with several other injuries. Drivers are posting their concerns to Facebook groups. Many say they are refusing freight to major cities. And there's even giving out tips, to zip tie your pigtail and your airlines to your glad hands, so that they can't just kick them off or whatever. Because you take that red airline off, you're going to sit there unless you got a trailer release button inside the cab.
Yeah.
But anyways, the story continues. Nearly 30 years later, carriers are scrambling to create policies to keep their drivers safe as violence erupts in major cities nationwide in response to the police officer involved death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. CDL Life reached out to multiple trucking companies to find out how they're keeping their drivers safe. Heather Robinson, Vice President of Operations at Riverside Transport, said, "We are not forcing drivers to go into areas where they feel unsafe. If they feel unsafe, they communicate that to us, and we don't send them to that area. The customers have been told that our driver safety and the safety of others are our main concerns, so we aren't sending drivers into unsafe areas and adjusting appointment times to deliver during the days in areas with curfews. We are intentionally routing around hot areas. We do have loads in riot cities, and so far it's been okay. We do stage outside the city and then call the customer and review options. Each load is unique and different, says Joe Ritchie from Great Plains Transport. He says the same thing. So the companies, they understand and are working on it, and they're all coming up with their own individual policies. I just couldn't imagine what somebody like England Prime or Swift is coming up saying, "Yeah, you got to go. That's a hot load."
Yep.
Yeah,
Even hotter
that's
when
exactly
the
what
riot
they're saying.
catch the truck on fire.
I'm sorry. Does anybody see the irony here? You know, the whole coronavirus quarantine.
Did you just say irony?
I've been saying it all along.
Irony.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Rob's breaking up.
Yep. He's in a
We're
bad
losing
area.
Rob.
Hear me?
Well, I've been
Hello?
saying it all along.
There he is.
There he is.
I'm right here.
Now we
Kind
can
of.
hear you.
What happened?
Look, he's frozen. I thought he said he was in where was that? Where did he say he was? Arizona?
Yeah. I'm moving like him. Hold on.
And he's moving like he's in freaking Alaska in the North Pole. He's frozen. Nope.
I'm here. I'm moving like Rob.
Oh shit. Anyways,
All right. I've been saying it all along, bro, that, this whole coronavirus quarantine was just a test run for them to test out martial law in a way without causing chaos.
yeah,
Here we go.
I think it's something like that.
Hey, there you are.
Well, sort of.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys see me?
Yeah, not that we want to.
Fuck you.
We can see you, but
I
you're
bet
not
you heard
moving,
that.
skipping and jumping around like a really, CCTV
Oh, we
camera
saw
from
that.
the 80s. Yeah, we'll never get this show monetized on YouTube.
Wait. I thought YouTube, you were allowed to have that kind of shit on it.
You are, but you're not allowed to monetize it. They won't pay you for it.
Well, not all of the episodes. Wait.
Wait.
I don't know what episode we
Yeah,
have.
that is
each other
all
off.
the episodes.
This is only the
guys hear
third
me?
episode. Yes,
No.
we can hear you. What are you doing? Getting your bong ready there?
Yep. Got some wax,
Awesome. But
Monsters using the monster.
cool. I'm not even going to ask where you're going to put that.
My dicky do.
What's a dicky do?
It's the thing I build my shed over.
Wow. So,
Anyway,
I don't know if it's a test run for the pandemic was a test run for martial law. I think that the test run was a test. The pandemic was a test run for socialism
Well, that
and
too, but
communism. But it's more of a way for them to what's the word, distinguish the followers from the
Yep. From the people that are going to
from
fight.
the normal people.
Right.
right?
Oh my God, AOC. You know who AOC is, right? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I guess Trump was doing some some thing for a church or something, a press release or something, and AOC tweeted out, "Look, he's holding that Bible like it's burning him." And the first fucking comment on her tweet was kind of like when you hold the Constitution. I was like, damn.
Oh, God damn.
Anyways, back to the. We're rambling.
Rambling.
Boys.
Rambling on.
Boys.
But that. I don't think. I live in Michigan. You guys know that. And our governor up here, Governor, what's your name? Bitchin Shitmer? Is.
Shitmore? Did you say Gretchen Shitmore? Wow,
Yeah.
that's the
Bitchin
governor of
Shitmer.
Wolfie's Bucket Bucket right there.
Yeah, no shit.
Shitmore.
So we are currently still under this. She lifted stay-at-home order. Okay.
So
And
now you have a.
she's opening stuff up, but you can't gather out in public outside any more than 100 people. Don't know why that's relevant. And she's opening bars and restaurants and stuff like that. I think it's 25% capacity, and then fucking we can't. Oh, you can't get your hair cut or go to a arena or any kind of sporting event. Why? Because she's a fucking little crybaby bitch. Excuse me, I got ashes in my eye. I'm crying. I'm crying.
You know, it's
I'm
funny.
being-
Don't cry, Bonehead.
What?
They started losing the effect of the coronavirus. Everybody was done and stopped listening, not giving a shit anymore. So now they had to throw this in there.
Yeah.
The riots. So now everywhere has a curfew. It's like, all right, so we went from at-home quarantine to now a curfew where if we're out past a certain time, we get tickets or arrested, one of the two. That sounds like a martial law to me.
Almost.
They have
It's just
they have the National Guard patrolling cities and shit. It's like, yeah, that's last I heard that was martial law, not a curfew.
well, I don't know who this Marshall is, but I've never met a guy named Marshall.
I have.
But that was my lame attempt at humor. Laugh, motherfucker. Thank you. All right. They had the National Guard here in Grand Rapids. Was it Monday night? And it was pretty damn quiet. On Saturday night, I guess there was a bunch of big fucking riots in Grand Rapids. There's video on Twitter. I'll see if I can link to it in the show notes. But there's a lady was trying to break the window at the Secretary of State's office. Okay, she's got this baseball bat and she's just beating on that window, bam, 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 for 5 minutes solid straight. Didn't even crack the window. Gets pissed off and throws the bat down and walks away. And the whole time there's this reporter from the local, I think it's 13, Channel 13, was videoing it and reporting on it. It's live. And then the lady reporters, yeah, they're really tearing into the Secretary of State's office. She's going to be through that glass and inside, tearing up the inside of the Secretary of State's office any minute now. Yes, they are. Yes, they are really rioting really hard. She's going to get through the glass any minute now. Yeah, she's really. She just gave up. It was fucking hilarious.
You know, I'm just tired of them calling saying that the anarchists are the ones doing the rioting.
No, it's not.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm an anarchist. I've been an anarchist for a long time, and I'm not out there rioting, and I don't condone the rioting and looting. I'm sorry. That's not what anarchists stand for.
That's
You
right.
know, so to put me on the same level as the the Al Qaeda or ISIS or whatever it is, to put me as a terrorist like them, that's bullshit.
Yep.
Just because I'm an anarchist. This is what they've been fighting for doing to us for a long time. They've been wanting to put anarchists as the bad guys for a long time, and this has finally given them the power to do so and make us all look bad, you know?
Yep.
And it's bullshit
It's
because I'm nothing like that, you know? So why do I have to worry about retaliation on me because of who I am when I don't even agree with this shit?
right. Same here. I'm not an anarchist. I'm a libertarian, and I I started in high school. I was a liberal. Okay.
Yeah, but
I
anarchist
was
wasn't around when you were in high school.
no,
Hey,
not like
Bonehead,
that.
adjust your video.
That- Why? What's wrong with my video?
Because it looks like your body and Monster's head are together. At least on my camera.
It's probably just your
Take a
camera.
picture. Take a picture.
I'm taking a picture.
Now, you got to lean back.
I can't reach the button if I lean back.
I will get it. Jesus fucking.
America.
America.
But no, when I was in high school, I was a liberal, and then I got a job and actually started working for a living and getting paid, and I was more conservative than anything else. And then and the older I get, the more libertarian I get, which means eventually I'm going to be an anarchist by the time I die.
Well, okay. Explain to the people the difference between a liberal and a libertarian.
Liberal is borderline socialist, except they're a little less government. Socialist is full on government, okay? Government controls everything. They tell you how many straws you can have, if you can have straws, tell you how much you could drink, what is, you know, but a liberal says everything's good for everybody. Libertarian is small government. You're supposed to provide me security and safety at the borders and give me sidewalks and streets. Other than that, get the fuck out of my life. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just saying, just in
Liberals,
case people didn't know what the difference was.
right? Libertarians kind of agree with things like licenses, certificates, things like that. Not necessarily driver's license, but like if you're doing something like, oh, I don't know, opening somebody's body up and sticking your hands inside, yeah, you should probably have some kind of a certificate saying that you're educated to do that. A liberal says no, fuck it, nobody needs anything, and the world is flat.
Jesus.
Not?
No. Did you hear about that fucking space launch? Well, they launched the astronaut. The fucking flat earthers are going, oh, they photoshopped that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they photoshopped the launch even when they were up in space.
Wow.
And did you notice that SpaceX has got a really nice fucking dashboard on that cockpit compared to
You
what
said cock.
compared to what NASA? Oh, did you get excited? Sorry.
Oh, shit.
Damn it, boy.
Damn it. There, I got some light. Shed some light on this.
Shit.
You already had light. What happened to it?
I went inside the bunk. I don't want to be in the fucking front seat.
Ah.
So let's see another. Let's start into another story here.
Yeah.
God damn.
Jesus.
Lord.
Pennsylvania Turnpike's going to lay off 500 workers. The tolling system is going to go completely cashless for good. Easy pass only.
Wow. I guess that could be a good thing. I don't usually go out that way.
Well, with the pandemic and the shutdown and everything, they're starting to realize, hey, we don't really need all these jobs
Yep.
because they don't do anything.
Just like a
We've
lot
got
of these
technology.
jobs. Right. A lot of these jobs that people could do at home, big businesses are finding out, oh, why are we paying for a building for these people to come to when they could just stay home doing the job?
Yeah, like software engineers.
Shit.
And
what job
shit
is
like
that?
The one my brother does.
What does he do?
Something with the web. I don't know exactly what it entails. Not, it's too smart for me. That's what it is.
He works for Pornhub.
Still fucking worse for Pornhub.
How would you know, Bonehead? Oh shit.
Okay, let's get back to some trucking relation things here.
Well,
the
Pornhub comes hand in hand with trucking, right?
Yeah, kind of in a way. The on May 14th, the FMCSA has officially announced that the new rules for the hours of service will go into effect September 24th. They did some rehashing on some shit. They did. Well, let's just go over them. Basically, it's basically four main things. They changed the 30-minute rest break. You don't have to do it off duty anymore. It can have your non-driving time on duty can count towards your 30-minute break. Another thing is the sleeper berth split, the 8 and 2 thing. You can also now do a 7 and 3 instead of an 8 to 2. How that's going to make any difference, I have no fucking clue. The exemption for adverse.
That's a way for these mega carriers to push their guys harder when a load has to be delivered and they only have a 7-hour break instead of an 8. They can make it on time still. That's all it's doing. It's taking away our sleep for these mega carriers to fucking still make their deliveries on fucking time. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. I hate 8-2 splits. I do them if I have to for my customers that deserve it. Like if they're a long-term customer and, you know, I'm always shipping with them, then yeah, I'll do that to accommodate them. But just a one-time customer, no, I don't. No, if I'm going to be late because of traffic and shit, I'm going to be late.
Okay, this is going to be kind of off subject, but how about the FMCSA implements some fucking laws on these shippers and receivers taking fucking forever to load and unload us?
Right.
You know,
technically they did.
That, so we don't lose.
I had that.
No, they didn't. They constantly do that.
No, I had that in the fucking show notes. I thought.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Well, no, I'm just checking to make sure I did put them in the show notes because I did read it and I saved it, but I don't. No, I didn't stick it in there.
Anyways, my point is, there's no fucking there's no accountability. Everybody's pointing the finger everywhere but at themselves. And I don't fucking
Yep.
like that because it costs, whenever we're fucking late, oh, fucking hell, it's the end of the goddamn world. But they
Or I
take
don't know.
fucking 8, 9, 10 hours to fucking load or unload us, and it's bullshit.
How about listening
We're
to us?
losing money.
How about listening to us truck drivers instead of the ADA and all these other fucking mega carriers and what they want? Why not listen to us, the drivers that are actually fucking doing it?
Exactly.
You know,
Anyways,
ADA don't fucking drive trucks. Fucking mega carriers, most of the people that fucking
What's the matter, Bonehead? You knew this was going to happen.
what?
okay.
ADD, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continuing on, the exemption for adverse driving conditions has been extended by 2 hours. So instead of having a 16-hour exemption, you can now have a 18-hour exemption. That's for blizzard conditions and shit like that. Active
Or
God stuff.
companies to utilize it.
Yeah, and
Yep.
for local drivers that don't have to be on the e-logs, they've been increased from 12 hours to 14 hours a day if you need it. And then they've increased the 100 air miles to 150 air miles. They did not do anything. They completely dropped the plans to pause the 14-hour rule. The one thing that could make every driver's life better, they just didn't think
Didn't do it.
that was
Didn't-
important.
Right, because everything was what mega carriers wanted.
Exactly. Now y'all
Oh,
keep
now look.
talking
Now
on
the
your
mega carriers. Now the mega carriers can work their local drivers 14 hours instead of 12. Now the mega carriers can say, "Oh, well, you were stuck in a blizzard. You still have 4 hours of playtime for that."
that's only if you return to your home terminal 5 days in consecutive in a row.
Okay.
That's the only time you can use adverse weather extension.
Still, I think the point here is all of these fucking changes to hours of service that the FMCSA and, let's be honest, the mega carriers have passed don't fucking help the driver at all.
No, it helps
No.
them.
All it does is give mega carriers free fucking reign to push their drivers to the absolute limit. And then when they get into a bad accident because of fatigue or whatever, the driver gets blamed. The driver gets punished for it when the mega carriers are pushing them to the fucking limit.
Yep.
You know? I got fucking canned at a place once for saying, no, I'm not going to do that short haul thing.
Fuck
Because
them.
I already, first of all, the short haul exception rule, before they made this change, the short haul exception rule was in an emergency situation, not fucking, oh, he gets 2 extra hours so we could push him to do that extra load.
Yep.
Everybody seems to forget that part of the fucking law. Well, I take it back.
Yep.
Not everybody. The companies forget about that part of the law. It's like all of a sudden they're fucking senile and they have fucking amnesia. I don't know. It's irritating.
Okay.
FMCSA doesn't fucking represent us. The ATA doesn't represent us. DOT, they're kind of separate. You know, all they're doing is enforcing it.
Right. Yep.
You know, who's representing us? Nobody. Nobody fucking represents
Hoffa.
a regular old company driver.
represents us.
Shit.
Okay, here you go. This was written on December 12th, 2019, so it's a little ways off, but a little old. But parties other than carriers are now subject to enforcement under the coercion rule. It says drivers citing coercion face an uphill battle. While coercion complaint filing might be straightforward, resolving a complaint is anything but. The process can drag for months, and protection for complaints is impossible, or complainants is impossible. One standout aspect of the coercion rule is that it marked the first time the FMCSA gained some authority to investigate and fine shippers and receivers not already under the purview of its regulation. I think I talked about this on Trucker Nuts. I keep saying Truckers Nuts, and that just sounds so wrong. But anyways, the rule also broadened agency authorities over brokers. It now has the ability to hold all these parties accountable for forcing drivers to violate hours of service and other regulations. Ray Martinez, making his first public tour through the world of truckers in his short tenure as FMCSA administrator, heard at least one anecdote of such driver abuse at the March 2018 Mid America Trucking Show in Louisville. During an agency listening session, a small fleet owner told how one of his drivers, nearly out of hours, was detained at a facility for 6 hours. This happened after carrier personnel talked with the facility and the broker on the load to make sure that if the driver sat for more than 2 hours, he'd have a safe place to park. The fleet owner said that safe place to park and regain hours never materialized. Shippers need to be held to the fire and not pay just $25 an hour for detention and think the problem goes away, the fleet owner said. FMCSA, I lost my spot. FMCSA Office of Enforcement and Compliance Director Joe De Lorenzo responded that the coercion rule for the first time gave us enforcement authority over a shipper or receiver that causes a violation of the regs by a driver. Inability to address such problems within the existing regulations, De Lorenzo said, led to the development of the coercion rule. Now, when such problems come to light, we can go after them investigatively and fine them for that. With the electronic logging device mandate and yard moves functionality, FMCSA addressed sticky situation of short truck moves around shippers and receivers, truck stops, and similar situations. 2 months after the discussion at MATS, the agency also changed its guidance regarding the off-duty driving status of personal conveyance too. FMCSA allowed PC to be used to move to the nearest safe parking location from a shipper or receiver after the load or unload exhausts hours availability. Yet this shipper receiver scenario isn't the only coercive practice by entities other than carriers in the view of owner operators. For instance, withholding payment or threatening to do so if the trucker refuses to violate regulations for the sake of delivering on time. One operator commenting on an overdrive story prior to the change in the PC guidance recalled being escorted by police out of a shipper facility when he refused to violate hours after a lengthy delay. The shipper then banned him and is refusing to pay for his 4 pallets that they took 7 hours to unload. If a shipper, receiver, or broker retaliates in such fashion after knowing its demands will put you in violation under the coercion rule, their action merits a formal complaint as much as a carrier's action would. Virtually all coercion complaints the agency has received have been about carriers, De Lorenzo says. A look at the 18,000 plus enforcement cases closed since the beginning of 2016, most not related to coercion, shows 10 cases having been concluded with a fine issued to one or another non-hazmat shipper entity by the agency, and no cases against brokers concluded. In all of the closed cases against shippers, violations involved resembled those in cases closed against carriers. The investigated shipper entities clearly also own trucks and employ drivers. All those shippers also had U.S. Department of Transportation numbers through De Lorenzo, though De Lorenzo De Lorenzo emphasizes that coercion enforcement is not counting is not contingent on a business processing a US DOT number or FMCSA operating authority. What this comes down to is they are seriously going after shippers, receivers, and now brokers
Good.
for doing stupid shit. Did you know that you as a driver, if you're dealing with a broker, if you ask the broker how much their cut of the rate is, they
Yeah,
are
they're supposed to
required.
tell you. Yeah.
They are required by federal law.
What they do.
But you know, they get around it by having the carrier sign a an agreement that they don't tell the driver, including the owner operator. And that's you know. But this is basically the whole thing is about, you know, they can, if you file a complaint. I'm waving my phone around. I forgot I was on Skype. I was in there, hey.
God
But
damn.
if what they're, if you could tell these fucking receivers and shippers and say, hey, I'm almost out of hours. Case in point, Monday, I had an 18-hour day Monday.
What?
Yep.
I did all my local deliveries, and the last local delivery was at 3:00 in the afternoon at Coca-Cola. Yes, I'm saying Coca-Cola in Grand Rapids on YouTube, library, 3Speak, wherever this video is going to be at. So yes, I am slamming you, Coca-Cola, in Grand Rapids. I also gave you the shittiest review you've ever had on Google Maps. So fuck you. If you want my attorney's number, I'll be more than happy to give it to you. Here's my phone number, 1-800-EAT SHIT, dickheads. But the
1-800
my appointment,
fuck off.
exactly. My appointment was at 3:00, 3 p.m., 1500 p.m. I pull in 14:55. That's 2:55 for people that work at Coke, so you know what time it is. That's 5 minutes before 3. I pull in to the guard shack. Guard, awesomest dude around. He needs to be the plant manager. He is the nicest, best person I've ever met at Coca-Cola. Any Coca-Cola. And then after you check in, you got to drive past the receiving and shipping docks. Drive past them.
Know what you're talking about.
And then you got to drive all the way around the building to turn around in a spot that's about the size of your 53-foot trailer with a 300-inch fucking wheelbase Peterbilt, and then drive all the way back up to the receiving office. But you can't drive all the way up there. You got to park behind the other 14 fucking trucks that are sitting there and then walk the fucking mile and a half into the receiving office, get into the receiving office, and there's a sign after you get inside the fucking door that says face mask required. And the dickhead receiver in the window just stares at you and points at his face, at his mask. And then you got to turn around and walk another mile and a half back out to your fucking truck to get your face mask, because that motherfucker is too much of a dickhead to say, hey, you got to have your face mask. But since you're in here, I'll go ahead and check you in because we're separated by a 3-inch piece of fucking glass.
Right.
So he checks, by all that time, I get checked in, and it's 11 minutes after 3. He counts me as late because of his slow, arrogant, cock-sucking ass. And puts my fucking paperwork at the bottom of the stack. And it says, it'll be a while. What's your phone number? So I'm like, okay, maybe they're just running behind. Because there is 14 trucks out there. And they're doing construction on the building. So yeah, I could give them some leeway. After 4 hours, I go inside and I say, how much longer? I'm about to be out of hours. And he says, it's still going to be a while. Which one were you? I said, the one you put on the bottom. He goes, oh, the late one. I said, I wasn't late. You can check in with the guard shack. It was 11. It took 11 minutes to get from the guard shack all the way around the building, turned around, and all the way back up here. Walk in, turn around, walk back out, come back in, and then you actually talk to me. Did you guys freeze, or is it just Rob? Okay. But anyways, he goes, it's going to be a while. So I'm like, okay, no problem. I go back out to the truck. Luckily, I was down to 30 minutes left on the 14 minutes, so I could get into the dock. So I got into the dock. I went off duty. Oh, we just lost Rob. Bummer.
Yes, we did. Now I see your ugly ass.
Yep. Yeah. Fuck this. Show must go on. So I've got the, I've got, you know, I'm off duty at this point in the dock. Yeah. Now he's back.
Yep. I'm back. Sorry.
That's right. And then now at this point, I'm in the dock. I'm off duty. And the fucker, I said, fuck it. I'm going to bed. I jumped in the bunk, closed the curtain, and I was out like a light. Never even felt him unload me or anything. About 11:30, he's beating on the switcher's beating on the door, handing me my paperwork. I rolled down the window. I said, thank you. He goes, okay, you need to leave. I said, I can't move. I'm off duty. And he's like, what? I said, I'm off duty. I can't move the truck. And he goes, but you're impeding my workflow. I said, you guys impeded my workflow by not unloading me at 3:00 at my fucking appointment time. And he's like,
exactly.
He's like, it wasn't me, dude. I said, I know it wasn't you, but somebody's got to get the point across to the jackass working the receiving window. And he's like, who was it? I said, I don't know his name. He's just a fucking arrogant asshole. And the switcher goes, yeah, we've already, if you've noticed, the glass is broken there and got a crack in it. He's already had somebody try to come through it at him. I was like,
I've been to that Coca-Cola you're talking about.
Yeah, I've been there several times, but this was the worst I've ever.
Fucking, oh God, that fucking place.
That's the worst that it's ever been. But I went on personal conveyance and went back to the yard, you know, because it's only 30 miles. And I didn't get a slap on the wrist yet, but I did bring it up to him. And he's like, you should have called me before you left. I said, why? So you could tell me to go 15 miles to the south, to the 76, to the truck stop at midnight when there's like no parking there.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, yeah, you got a point. He's like, well, why didn't you stop at the speedway? Because you got to drive past the speedway to get to our yard, you know, because it's the same exit. And I'm like, because that's a speedway and the yard is a much better place to park where it's quiet and I don't get the truck run over. And he kind of grinned and he goes, yeah, I can see that. We should be all right. But just next time, call me before you do it. I'm like, I'm not calling you, dude.
No.
Fuck that.
Oh, dude.
I'm not going to wake you up. I'm not going to wake you up in the middle of the night just to have you say, okay. Because that's exactly what you would have said. Okay.
And just so you people out there don't think that Bonehead's just bitter.
Oh,
I had the same experience at that same place, Coca-Cola in Grand Rapids. The fucking place is, and like you said, the guy at the security guard was way fucking cool. Even the switcher, the yard dog, he was a
Switchers
cool
are awesome.
dude also. Yeah,
Both shifts
but
were awesome.
yeah, but dude at the
Second
fucking
shift and
window,
third shift.
man,
And just
I
so
don't
you
know
guys
what it
don't
was.
think that both of them are disgruntled, I have to say I've never been there. I don't plan on going there, and if I do, shit's gonna hit because I'm not as nice as them.
He's gonna make it through the window.
Right. It won't
yeah.
just be cracked. It'll be me going through.
It ain't gonna be some young lady trying to break into a window with a bat and then giving up.
Shit, I bet I could have gone
Okay.
through that window with my fist.
Probably.
Mark,
America.
So what else we got? What we got next?
hang on. I got to check something real quick.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
I just stuck
Multitask,
something in my.
huh?
Huh?
Is
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Monster, is your camera on?
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Because I can't see you at all.
Yeah, they're the same
'Cause
way.
it's-
Yours is just their emblem.
No, it isn't. My video
It
camera's
is.
on.
Well,
Yeah.
I just see your emblem.
I think it's the area that Monster's in because his video looks kind of shitty on my end, while your video looks really good.
No, you know what? No, he's at the fucking yard in Bloomington. I see your fucking. I know what you're doing. You're fucking have the lights off.
What? The light's on, bro. Look.
Yeah, but you're underneath it. You're under your bed and you can't see the light.
The light
That
needs to
better?
shine on your face.
He wants to see
No,
my beautiful face.
that is not better at all.
Well, then don't fucking want to see my face. Let me be.
So
Just
what
saying,
did-
dude.
Oh
I'm trying
yeah.
to help you.
Well,
I'm
I'm
trying.
trying to help you.
I don't give a shit if they see me. They don't want to see me either.
Anyway,
I'm reading our. See, this is what I like about our company. They just. I don't know if you got the email yet, but they just emailed out the.
settlement.
No, the fucking policy operating during demonstrations and protests. And in bold letters it says your personal safety is far more important than the equipment or the load. And
Good,
it
because if
says
they surround me, I'm fucking dropping my trailer and running.
for dispatch, it says the dispatch needs to be aware of what is taking place around the country, be aware of what locations the drivers will be picking up and or delivering to and passing through. Contact the shippers and receivers, get a name of the person you talk to, and have them tell us the location is secure and safe. Communicate with the drivers what we are aware of regarding the location so the driver can make a knowledgeable decision on how to proceed. For drivers, be aware of what is taking place in your planned path. Do everything reasonably possible. Oh, hang on. There we go. Do everything reasonably possible to avoid the situation to begin with. When on break, listen or watch the news for a few minutes and stay informed. Know in what city and state the protests are occurring. If the demonstration becomes violent, there is little to do but wait it out. Avoid the area. Go out of your way to stay away from where the action is. At no time put yourself in danger while going about your job.
What if I want to join the protesters?
I don't know. They haven't said anything on that yet.
Oh, okay.
This is our company policy, not yours.
I'm just saying, what if I want to join the protesters?
Go join the damn protester. Okay, it says if a protest or riot starts without warning and you find yourself trapped in the middle of a demonstration, we ask that you follow this protocol. Call the police and have them escort you. Do not try going it without escort. If you try and inch through a group of protesters, someone is going to allege that they were hit by a truck, and that could make matters much worse. As long as the demonstration remains peaceful, please stay in your truck and do not move until the police assist or the demonstration has passed and you can safely proceed. If the demonstration escalates and your personal safety becomes an issue, secure the vehicle as best you can and leave the vehicle to find a safe haven. So, in other words, if you feel unsafe, get the fuck out and run like hell. Don't worry about the truck. Let them have
Translation: just go home.
it.
Yeah, because if you feel unsafe, you'll feel
Shouldn't
safe
be out of
going
there.
out in the middle of all the protesters instead.
Well, if you're supposed to do it before you get around them or before they get to you. If you got a violent protest coming at you.
Well, how do you know if they're violent or not beforehand?
They're coming at you with bats and shit. Come on now.
Who says
Or
you're going to
throwing
see
shit
the
at your
bats?
truck.
And if they're
Well,
close
I
enough
can
to
say
throw
the
shit
same
at
for
your
myself.
truck, if they're close enough to throw shit at your truck, they're close enough to chase me down and kick my ass because I'm a fat ass and I can't run long distances.
Cardio, cardio, cardio.
Right, poor fat bastard.
Rule number,
Shit.
what is that? Rule number 1?
Yes. Rule number 1. Rule number, 3 was don't try to be a hero?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sorry. They start fucking throwing and hitting my truck, throwing shit at my truck, and like actively fucking being aggressive towards me. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I can to get the fuck out of there.
That's right.
And what the
me.
fuck is this shit about attacking truckers anyway? Wasn't it like a month ago we were the fucking angels of the highway?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
the fucking irony right there.
Told you that wouldn't last
Thank
long.
you. Thank you so much. I could wipe my ass now because you bring this toilet paper. You know?
Yeah.
But some
Yep.
dipshit ass fucking cop kills the dude, and now it's fucking our fucking problem? Fuck that.
Yep.
Told you it wouldn't last long.
Oh, I knew it wouldn't last long. I'm just pointing out the irony in it.
The irony.
I like the iron skill.
Irony. Iron. I am Iron Man.
Anyway.
Could have built a new suit with a pattern. Okay, finally, we got the last story coming up here, and it's an admission. We've heard this since the 80s in this industry. There's a driver shortage. A driver shortage. The ATA. The ATA admits that the driver shortage is over, but says it will return. At last count, the ATA estimated that the industry was short about 60,000 drivers, but during the current economic and freight lull caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, even the ATA admits that the driver shortage is over, but not for long. Okay, so basically they're saying because of the pandemic and we lost 80-some thousand trucking jobs. They're saying now we don't have a driver shortage. We never had a fucking driver shortage. Not ever. We've had a shortage.
Maybe a driver wage shortage.
Thank you. We've had a shortage of drivers that will work for 16 cents a mile. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up, but I couldn't find a story about it. My wife is on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, but I don't log into Facebook. She tells me about she's still in a couple of trucker groups and she keeps tabs on it for me. But she was telling me about a lot of bitching going on in some of these Facebook truckers groups about owner operators getting their rates cut because of the pandemic.
Yeah, I heard about that. To like 60, 50, 60, 70 cents a mile is all they're getting paid.
Yeah, yeah. And I could tell you who these people are. These are guys that are going out and rent and leasing a truck from a mega carrier like US Express,
Prime.
Swift, Prime, Snyder, Stevens.
Swift on the rag.
Yeah. And
I
your
mean,
reason why you're getting that cut is because you guys are letting them do it, because you are not being an owner operator. You are paying them for the privilege of driving their fucking truck. It's not your truck. Deal with it. Tell them no. Say, oh, we're going to cut you down to 50 cents a mile. You say, fuck no. Say, I'm not turning the key for less than $2 a mile.
If you get really close,
There
it's
you
more
go.
dramatic.
Yes, I'm being dramatic. Trying to be.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure I get in on the book here. I want to
Dude,
be dramatic too.
Dude, when you're doing this and Monster does it too, it looks like he's about to kiss you. That's just not wrong. That's just wrong.
Ah! I
Okay,
don't know
I'm
where
sorry.
that tongue's been.
I don't know either. I took some pretty good sleeping pills, dude. But yeah, that's the last story I had. It's these guys bitching because their rates get cut, and it's because they let them cut it. Stop driving their shit. Stop pulling their shit. Stop paying them to drive their truck. They're supposed to pay you to drive their truck. If you're going to buy the fucking truck, buy the fucking truck. Don't lease it from a company. Lease it from Ryder, Penske, fucking Peterbilt, Jax, JAX. Fucking go out and actually lease a truck where it's a new truck and if something breaks, they fix it. We've got some owner operators here at our company. They've got what are they, 579s, just like our company trucks. And I went to rescue a load from one of them in Ohio, and I asked him where his truck was at and what was wrong with it. He said, "Well, it's at the Peterbilt dealer." And I was like, "So what's that going to cost you?" He's like, "I don't care. It's not. I ain't paying for it. It's all under warranty." And it's like,
there you go,
dude. That's the way you do it. You don't go. You don't go pay fucking Snyder fucking $1,500 a week or a month to drive a 5-year-old truck that's already got 600,000 or 700,000 miles on it. That's been their truck. No, you're paying them the privilege to drive their truck. Rob's doing his masturbation exercises, getting his wrist warmed up.
I'm so glad I can't see it.
almost time.
Yeah, it is almost time. We've been an hour and 9 minutes now.
Bonehead is a VIP member.
Yep. And I'm trying to figure out why dispatch just texted into the local guys community chat first half of GFS bills in the box. Gordon
What?
Food Service. It says first half of the Gordon Food Service bills are in the box. That means one of us has a Gordon Food Service to deliver tomorrow. At least half of them. But nobody knew anything about it. So I'm going to have to go talk to dispatch. Say, what's up, dude? Forgetting to tell us about loads here?
Something like that.
Curious which one it is too, because if it's the one over in Brighton, then I'm going to have to be the one that delivers it.
It'll be Coca-Cola again.
It's just gonna say.
Or if it's the one in Brighton, it's good, but I don't know. If it's the one here in Grand Rapids, they're good too. But they're usually early, like 5-6 a.m. early. That's why I say if it's the one over in Brighton, I'm gonna be the one that has to do it. Anyways, we're winding down.
Yep. Looks like
Guess we're gonna have
Monster's already fucking passing out.
Yeah.
No, I'm just laying here,
What are you
relaxing.
going? 34?
No,
Oh,
I delivered this morning.
you got your 10? Or waiting for dispatch?
Waiting for dispatch to tell me what I'm doing next. So,
Hurry up and wait.
hey, I don't care. I'm relaxing. Whatever. Just
Yeah.
don't expect me to go far if they're having me pick up tonight, because I've been up since 12 o'clock this morning.
Yep.
12
30
a.m.
in Clay.
So,
Is that 12 a.m.?
yes. Oh.
That blows.
Oh. Show her my O face. Oh.
No one wants to see your O face.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
And we're,
So
let's rest up for
one
another
thing
year and do this again in 2021.
there you go.
Yeah,
We do have a Discord channel.
next year.
We do
Oh,
have
yeah,
a Discord channel, guys. I'll get Bonehead or myself to put the link up so that you guys can join in on the shenanigans on a daily.
Yep.
That's all I
You
got.
can do voice stuff in there too, don't you?
Oh yeah. There's like a voice chat.
They don't want to hear
hop in.
us.
Nah. But they want to hear each other. So. You know.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
But we'll get that link set up for you guys, so that you guys can
Break 19. Break 19. Break 19. How about it? Anybody got a copy?
No.
I ain't
fuck
got
you.
mask. I ain't
got
got
pants
no
on.
mask.
No mask on. It puts the mask on the skin, or it gets the hose again.
There it is. I thought we were going to go the whole show without that laugh.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me hard. I'd fuck me so hard.
Jesus.
Bye, Corona. Anyways, let's call it
All right,
quits.
guys.
Stop recording. We'll see you guys. Keep shining.
Later.
Side
Thanks.
down.
Keep the paint side up.